Morning guys, my name's Adrian Mahoney and this is my 30-60-90 plan presentation and what I did and how we went through it. So my idea or my plan was to improve NPS concentrating within one community and to increase this or change this within agent behaviour. Nothing else, no other processes, just absolute agent behaviour, what they do on the call, how they can affect it, and how they can increase it and make the customer's experience a lot better, and obviously reflecting on the NPS scores. So the situation was NPS as a whole across a lot of the communities is quite a negative thing. Agents' feedback was, we can't control it. You're taking 10% off a bonus for other people's verbatims. It's an absolute joke. It's the negativity around NPS on some of the communities is just absolutely shocking, to the point where it's just NPS is brought in to control this customer service satisfaction and to make everything positive and make the agents go above and beyond. But it's actually, I feel on the floor, it's created the absolute opposite and has made agents very, very negative when it's mentioned with anything with managers, within buzz sessions, absolutely anything with targets. You get a barrage of absolute abuse. It's a very, very negative thought concept on NPS. So what my two main targets were: one, I wanted to absolutely hit target of 25% as a community, and I also want to absolutely, completely change the perception of NPS with the agent. Absolutely show them they are in full control, absolutely, of how they take the call, what they do within the call, and how that will affect their NPS. So those are the main targets. So moving forward, the first month was November. We started on, October ended on minus 5.17% as an NPS, which is not a very good score for a whole community with 73 agents. So things that I started doing, I wanted to do an incentive. I really wanted to do an incentive. We had no funding, so what I had to do was create some funding, really. So what I did, I got a football from Asda. I think it was about a tenner. I know somebody in St James's, so I got him to sign. I got the team to sign all that. And then apparently, if you sell it, so you can sell it for about £40–50. But I didn't think that was enough for 73 agents. So I raffled it within the community. And I raised £140, which was great. So the majority of that went back into the community with the incentives, and some of it went to charity as well. So that was great. The incentives were things like NPS Top 40. So it's kind of music theme. We had #1 top spot at the end of the month. Download of the day, which was verbatim, which was checked by the ops manager and sent out and recognised with recognition to the agent. That landed really, really well. Highest mover, highest new entry. So basically, it was just an absolute focus around the positivity and the positive things that are coming out of NPS, and how agents have taken calls and how they've changed that around, so much so that the customers have mentioned that on the verbatims and given them 10 out of 10 and things like that. So absolutely spot on. The buzz sessions, I went in with all the teams. I went in buzz sessions on a weekly basis. Used things like 10 commandments of great customer service. Setting the context with all the agents, reading through them, which one have you tried, which one have you not used, which one are you going to use moving forward, that kind of thing. Absolutely using the format within the bus sessions, absolutely use that loads. So coaching side of it, I did a lot of monitoring calls, a lot of side by side, a lot remotely. Within the feedback, I used a lot of grow conversations. I know that wasn't in an Aspire, but I do like using that an awful lot, because you can use that whether you listen to calls or not, and absolutely get some goals, reasons, options, and way forwards from the agents. Smarter objections, use that loads, absolutely again. And not so much in the first month, but definitely in the second month, I've used a lot of E+R equals O, so event plus response equals outcome. Absolutely relevant to NPS. What was the event? What was the customer calling through? What was your response and attitude? And what was the outcome of that call? So on the back of that, you can see some agents that have completely mirrored the customer's frustration, and the outcome is escalations. Customers not happy, and agents not happy as well. Whereas on the flip side of that, the customers being frustrated and angry, the agent sitting back a little bit, taking ownership and reflecting, empathising, sympathising, that kind of thing, apologising and completely taking ownership, and the outcome is very, very different. So that's been shown as well. loads and loads of smelly fish conversations, the bowl conversations, absolutely with the agents. The first month, it was such a tough month just to get on the just to get into a conversation of MPS, right, with it not ending negative. So on the flip side of that, December came into play, and we finished November end of month on 11.57. Absolutely fantastic result, just above 15% increase in 1 month, just on a little bit of focus, a little bit of incentive. So absolutely jumped on the back of that positivity. We created another incentive which had the theme of on the ball, which was to run in line with the request from Vicky Turner and that about agents just kind of keeping an eye on efficiencies and be on the ball with your efficiency. So that ran in very well. So we ran a football league. I created matches between teams, so on day-to-day performances on MPS, who would win and get certain points. Again, just a bit of fun, a bit of positivity around MPS. Loads more monitoring and feedback sessions, absolutely loads. I've got so much documentation, it's unbelievable. Within this month I used the three C's, loads, absolutely loads. Clarity, confidence, consequences, whether it be good or bad. This is the consequences of what happens if you don't, if you do. Absolutely, really effective. Loads more smelly fish conversations, bowl conversations. After month 2, some of these agents are still being very negative towards that. You've got to sit down and have that bowl conversation. So absolutely use that loads. Within the buzz sessions again, buzz sessions around like my e-app, email, that kind of thing. So they're not having to call back with queries. So therefore, you know, and ultimately, inevitably, you know, there's escalations and things that do come from that. Loads of buzz sessions on open questions, lifestyle questions at the beginning of calls, taking ownership from queries, going above and beyond, absolutely what the benefits, what the downfalls, if you don't, if you do, and again, absolutely using the format within that. So moving into January, the MPS scores at the end of December, has risen again up to 21%, which is fantastic. So absolutely focusing on that glide path, and we're in the target of 25 is definitely in our reach. So within January, what I did was took away the incentive, because we just wanted to be absolutely about the agent and what their behaviour is. You've had lots of fun, you've had lots of incentives, lots of prizes. Now let's just see what you can do without that incentive. So a lot of focus on showing how agents have made a difference at MPS individually and as a community. A really good success stories. One agent at the end of October finished on -60%. I had a lot of conversations, a lot of feedback, a lot of coaching with the manager as well, how we can change it. And again, this was a very negative person towards MPS solely because they thought they couldn't control it. At the end of December, they're actually on +40%. And this month already, halfway through January, they were already on like +50 with five surveys. So absolute success stories, and there's quite a few of those across the 3 months. Did a lot of revisiting agents within the past, people that have improved, and absolutely focusing on what the absolute positives are. So not what they're not doing, absolutely what they are doing right, and how that's affecting MPS, and it just seemed to work massively well. So over the 3 months, great results. A lot of reluctancy at the beginning. Really long days and some really bold conversations and some difficult conversations. But just to summarise, at the end of January, I'm not making this up either. The target was 25. We actually hit 26%. So what a success story! Absolutely fantastic. So within the 3 months of the project, we increased MPS from 5.17% to 26%. Wonderful, absolute turnaround from high majority of the agents, massive turnaround. But what this has shown to the agents mostly is that they can affect MPS. They are in control of it, and it is all about how they deal with the customer. They do to strive to be number one for customer service. They now know MPS is a massive part of that, and the majority of the agents are 100% behind this now. What they've also seen is just on the back of the actual change of approach to customers, noise calls, queries, escalations, sales calls, whatever. It's completely increased their revenue as well, which absolutely rewards them with more bonus. Again, some of the agents through their MPS, they feel they've increased the bonus month in month out by £200 or £300. That's a lot of money to some of these agents. And again, it's all about how you're taking that call. So within Aspire, absolutely used so much, it's unbelievable. I don't think I could have done this. I don't think I could have done the coaching role play that I'm doing at the moment without actually the Aspire project. Format, absolutely huge, absolutely massive. I took buzzes before, there was no commitments, there was no contact setting, there was no what's in it for them, so we'll just have a conversation and that'd be it, and then they just go off and do their own thing. It was just completely useless. The massive part about that is getting the commitments at the end. It's such a simple thing, but it's so effective because I can revisit them through the day, through the week, and back on the commitments that we discussed. Brilliant. Loads of positive language, plates, use that loads, absolutely. 3 C's, smarter. 2 by which I've started using in the last month, so I used smarter the first couple of months, and then the last month definitely I switched that to 2 by which, which seemed to be a bit more simplified and a bit more easy to explain and a lot quicker. Loads of bold conversations, smelly fish conversations. I think if I've not had that kind of context setting with Susan through the workshops, I may have struggled with that. I really would have, but definitely learned from that. Within giving the feedback, use Boost, loads, absolutely loads. Feedback coming, I've given so much feedback through the 3 months, it's unbelievable. And massively used E plus R equals O. This is, it's so relevant to MPS. It's crazy. Tips and tests, again, I've used that loads. I've been within the same agent, 73 agents for 3 months. I wasn't on that community to start off with. I didn't know any of the agents, so it's absolutely getting in there, getting amongst them, finding out what makes them tick, what they like, what they don't like, how I can approach them, what's the best way to approach them, how to speak to them about certain things. Brilliant. So I've absolutely loved the challenge, absolutely buzzing about the results, but more so all about that, how the community is just what the thought concept and the perception of MPS is at the moment. You can talk about it, you can mention it, you can show how it increases, you can show how it can affect it. You don't get that barrage of abuse when you mention MPS. So absolute success story, and I've loved every minute of it. And on the back of Aspire, yeah, I've used nearly everything that's been involved within the workshops, and that's been explained by Susan. So thanks guys, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.